Hello everyone, my name is Julie Kazire. How many of you have ever watched television for a few hours and after you were finished realized that either your vision was a little blurry or altered and it was difficult to see? Or maybe you had been on your phone for a while and after so long your vision did become blurred and you felt a wave of exhaustion or fatigue come over you. Or maybe you were playing video games for a while and after a few hours after you were finished all you felt was irritation. These are a few side effects that can occur due to allowing oneself too much screen time. If those are results of too much screen time for adults, imagine what the effects can have on children. Children love screens, whether it's a television, an iPad, a phone, or a computer. Children long for the electronic devices that they see us adults use all the time. Due to the fact that children are naturally difficult at times and they desire screen time, children receive a lot more time than what is necessary for their little bodies and minds. Most caregivers do not stop to think about what the consequences are in allowing screen time for young children. Instead, they are living in the moment and using a device for entertainment. According to the Chinese writer Feng Chang, who has a PhD in psychology, his studies show that longer screen time for children are associated with insufficient physical activity, warning signs that include obesity and overweight, unhealthy dietary habits, metabolic syndrome, lower levels of sleep quality, mental illness, and behavior problems. These are not naming every issue that are associated with too much screen time in children. Parents should limit children's screen time because of the adverse side effects that prove to stunt children's growth and abilities, and also the negative psychological effects that result, such as aggression. First of all, I would like to start by saying that screen time should be limited and used sparingly with children who are still toddlers. These little children are forming and growing and need to learn their surroundings and abilities outside the setting of a screen. Parents should focus on the issues with vision that arise when children too young are staring at screens too often. Aviv Segev, an author who evaluates screen time and its link to psychopathology, again adds that high levels of computer usage have repeatedly been linked to violence, attention issues and psychological problems, reduced paternal and peer attachment, obesity, and poor academic achievements. Another big effect that screen time has on children is social abilities. Children that constantly have their faces in screens lack the ability to communicate effectively. Parents and caregivers need to give a second thought as to question which amount of screen time is okay and what amount of screen time is considered dangerous. Second of all, what is a good limitation for these little humans? According to Saprik Tamanan, a researcher on screen time with preschoolers and the Association of Inattention Problems, he writes that a Canadian movement in 2016 recommended that children ages 5 and older should have less than 2 hours of screen time a day. Children 2 to 4 years of age are recommended only 1 hour of screen time a day. These recommended levels of screen time can be hard to maintain for parents who have little ones in preschool or in daycare. Today, screens are being used in preschools and daycare systems as learning devices and/or for entertainment. There needs to be a regulation of screen time within the schools and daycares in order not to exacerbate the issues associated with too much screen time. Then, parents could have an accurate account of what amount was healthy for their children while they were at home. In conclusion, the ongoing issues of screen time and psychological effects can be accounted for all over the globe. This is not just an issue that lies within the United States. Screens and technology are everywhere, and they are growing at rapid paces. Books have already been replaced by screens. Screen time limits for children are dire. The side effects show up outside of the home and have the ability to create an unhealthy lifestyle at premature ages. I do agree that screens can be used for benefit, but I believe that benefit comes at a cost. Our world needs to begin taking steps in order to decrease these issues arising from children and screens. I hope that the facts that I have shared with you will will have the ability to alter your pre-existing beliefs on electronic devices and the upcoming generations. Now I'll allow time for any questions.
Why did you choose this topic?
I chose this topic because I was struggling to come up with a topic that felt the criteria for the assignment, and my teacher kind of helped me out, and I like this topic because I have kids and I was interested in how much is too much for toddlers, and that's pretty much it. I agree that screens are not good for developing minds myself.
What do you think we can do as parents to start putting some regulations on schools to keep screen time from happening at such a high rate with first graders, kindergartners, preschoolers?
Well, we would definitely have to start small before we went big. We could do petitions, for regulations of screen time in surrounding areas right now. For me, that'd be Western Nebraska. We could start paperwork where maybe teachers had to fill out how many hours they had been dealing with screens, so when they come home, it can be regulated better. Or we could maybe try and change criteria where it's not so, forced upon screens. Go back to books.
Yeah.